gladness gleaming, to cheer the wanderer lone and tempest-tossed. No storms can hide that radiance peaceful beaming, since Jesus came to seek and save the lost. Give me the Bible, holy message shining, thy light shall guide me in the narrow way. Precept and promise, law and love combining, till night shall vanish in eternal day. Give me the Bible when my heart is broken, when sin and grief have filled my soul with fear. Give me the precious words by Jesus spoken. Hold up faith's lamp to show my Savior near. Give me the Bible, holy message shining, thy light shall guide me in the narrow way. Precept and promise, law and love combining, till night shall vanish in eternal day. Give me the Bible, all my steps enlighten, teach me the dangers of these realms below. That lamp of safety o'er the gloom shall brighten, that light alone the path of peace can show. Give me the Bible, holy message shining, thy light shall guide me in the narrow way. Precept and promise, law and love combining, till night shall vanish in eternal day. Give me the Bible, lamp of life immortal, hold up the splendor by the open grave. Show me the light from heaven's shining portals, show me the glory gilding Jordan's wave. Give me the Bible, holy message shining, thy light shall guide me in the narrow way. Precept and promise, law and love combining, till night shall vanish in eternal day. Break thou the bread of life, dear Lord, to me, as thou didst break the loaves beside the sea. Beyond the sacred page, I seek thee, Lord. My spirit pants for thee, O living word. Bless thou the truth, dear Lord, to me, as thou didst bless the bread by Galilee. Then shall all bondage cease, all fetters fall, and I shall find my peace, my all in all.
Good afternoon. Okay, dokie. I forgot to do that. How you doing today? Trying to do some tagging here. Hello, Angie. How are you doing? Whoops. Morning doves are really vocal today. Not sure I got her yet, so I'll get her again. Alyssa is on tech for me today. I missed. Don't you just hate it when that happens? Got these flies bugging around you, and you go to swat it, and then you just miss it. I know I'm missing a few in here. Yes. Not too bad this morning. Headache hasn't been here today. That's good. Alicia. Alicia's behind the screen. Behind the screen, behind the scenes. She's the one saying hi. I'm sure there's a few others that I've forgotten, but oh well. And I better share this to. Okay. And that. Yes. Got him. I got him there. I got him there. I even shared it to his messenger. I just thought of another one. Two of them, actually. Three of them. Boy, I'm getting old and forgetful. There we go. Yeah, it's kind of coming back to me. Beautiful day out there. Need to get some things done out in the garden today, but I've got a doctor's visit here in about 2 hours. And I'm going to take the 3 kiddos that I've got to the library this afternoon, so probably not going to get much done library-wise. But since I've got, looks like it's going to be just you and I today. The I Grow Daily Devotional book is one book, 365 lessons designed for 1 year, for an entire year. And it has multiple, it covers multiple books. We've already done all of Matthew, all of Acts. We're in the Psalms. I don't remember what Psalm we're on, but it's just a complete 365-day devotional, and yeah, you can do it on multiple. You can do it over multiple years. It's a really good book, really thought-provoking. Philip Johnson and Focus Press are both, well, Philip Johnson's a member of the Church of Christ. Brad Harab and Jack Wilkie, who are the founders of Focus Press, are also members of the church. Brad goes around the country doing seminars, both on science as well as marriage seminars. and he does some mission work in addition to that. My dad has been on multiple mission trips wherein my dad, my younger brother, dad, mom, and younger brother have been on multiple mission trips where Brad has taken part, and to Jamaica, as a matter of fact, and he'll go into the schools down there. They invite him into the schools to teach them. They'll assemble the entire school, and he'll have a class or so, several hours, I think, type of a deal, where he gets to spend all day, practically all day, at that school and just teach Christian science, science from a Christian's perspective. I don't know. That's what I'm kind of wondering myself. Where is everybody? Laura's usually here by now. Um, I'm looking off and then down the road, about an eighth of a mile at most. There's a neighbor's electrical pole, and there's a buzzard sitting on top of that pole, and he's got his wings out. Yeah, just fanning his wings. Oh, now I just put them away. Maybe he thought his armpits were a little dirty, smelly. Sam might be asleep. Although, we had a really good discussion. Sam and Teresa might take just a little bit for them to get over here, because we ended, like 11:05 ish or so from the devotion. So it might take them a little bit to get over here, as well as Heather. Craig's with us. Hey, Craig, how you doing? Beautiful day out there today. Today that it makes me wish I had a motorcycle to go riding. I don't. And if I was to get something, I would end up getting a motor trike rather than a bicycle, because my back just couldn't handle lifting the that big of a beast, holding that thing up. So I'd have to get a tricycle. But it makes me wish I had one. I've always wanted a motorcycle. Never a snowmobile, just a motorcycle. And it's a good thing I don't want want a snowmobile. My wife absolutely would refuse to let me have a snowmobile. Won't even let us go on one. Not that I blame her. She lost a cousin to a snowmobile accident a number of years ago. He was on his snowmobile riding through town, and ended up going going between a telephone pole and a guy wire on that pole, and misjudged his distance or something. But anyway, basically the guy wire decapitated him, and he was a teenager. So. I don't have any, I really have no desire to ride a snowmobile anyway. Motorcycles, yeah. Motorcycles, a tricycle, motor trike, um, as I call them, motorcycle, a three-wheeled motorcycle. Mud dauber running around here. Go find someplace else to build your home there, Mr. Mud Dauber. I'm almost thinking that's a queen, but I'm not sure. Anyway. All right, well, let's go ahead and since we've only got a couple of us here, even in any day, let's go ahead and get into the thing. Get to the vein of the matter. Yes, 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 yes. We are studying the vein of Psalm 40, another Psalm of David, written to the chief musician, and he says this. I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry. He brought me up out of, he brought me up also out of an horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock and established my goings. He hath put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our God. Many shall see it and fear, and shall trust in the Lord. Blessed is that man that maketh the Lord his trust, and respecteth not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies. Many, O Lord, my God, are thy wonderful works which thou hast done, and thy thoughts which are to usward, they cannot be reckoned up in order unto thee. If I would declare and speak of them, they are more than can be numbered. Sacrifice and offering hast thou, be careful there, Alicia. Sacrifice and offering thou didst not desire, mine ears hast thou opened. Burnt offering and sin offering. Hey, Debbie, I'm about ready to go in there and have to run the Bible myself, if Alicia doesn't pay attention. How you doing, Debbie? We're in Psalm 40, just hit verse 6, about halfway through. Burnt offering and sin offering hast thou not required. Then said I, Lo, I come. In the volume of the book it is written of me. I delight to do thy will, O my God. Yea, thy law is within my heart. I have preached righteousness in the great congregation. Lo, I have not refrained my lips, O Lord, thou knowest. I have not hid thy righteousness within my heart. I have declared thy faithfulness and thy salvation. I have not concealed thy loving kindness and thy truth from the great congregation. Withhold not thou, verse 11, withhold not thou thy tender mercies from me, O Lord. Let thy loving kindness and thy truth continually preserve me. For innumerable evils have compassed me about. Mine iniquities have taken hold upon me, so that I am not able to look up. They are more than the hairs of mine head. Therefore my heart faileth. Verse 12, Alicia. Me. Be pleased, O Lord, to deliver me. O Lord, make haste to help me. Let them be ashamed and confounded together that seek after my soul to destroy it. Let them be driven that wish me. Hang on. I just lost my place. Verse 14. Let them be driven backward and put to shame that wish me evil. Verse 15. Let them be desolate for a reward of their shame that say unto me, Aha, aha. Let all those that seek thee rejoice and be glad in thee. Let such as love thy salvation say continually, The Lord be magnified. But I am poor and needy, yet the Lord thinketh upon me. Thou art my help and my deliverer. Make no tarrying, my Lord, oh my God. Alicia's more busy saying hi to Debbie than she is paying attention to where we're reading. All right, back up to verse 1. Let's see what nuggets we can pull out of this psalm. David says, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry. Remember, remember it is God's timing, not mine, not yours. Everything should be done in the Lord's timing because the Lord can see all of time and he knows when the time is best for something good to happen to us. So like David, we should wait patiently for the Lord to incline his ear unto us, for the Lord to answer our prayer. It may not be in the way that we think it should be. It may not be in the time that we think it should be. But be assured that God will answer prayer in accordance with his will. Wait patiently for him. Verse 2. He brought me up. Verse 2. Keep your mouse on the eSword for now, okay, sweetie? Don't go off switching tabs. Don't go back over here to StreamYard. You stay here on the Bible, all right? Exactly, Debbie. I like that song. I love that song, and that song goes well with Psalm 1 or Psalm 40, verse 1. He brought me up also out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay. He set my feet upon a rock and established my goings. See, it was God's timing. David waited for him to make answer, to set him up, to pick him up out of the quicksand, out of the clay where he got his feet stuck. He couldn't move. So God picked him up and put him on a solid rock. On Christ the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. Up from the miry clay, saving my soul, making me whole, till I am, what is it? I was into the will of Jesus, or into the heart of Jesus. Into the heart of Jesus, deeper and deeper I go. Yeah, you're not going to find any nectar on me there, Mr. Bumblebee. So, God is the one that will lift us up and put us on a solid foundation. He will establish our goings when we're sinking in that sand, when we're drowning in problems. God it is who can lift us up and establish us. David said, wait patiently for the Lord. And because of his wonder, because of his goodness, because of how he has dealt with David has a new song to sing. And that song is praise unto God. Because he says, many shall see what God has done and shall be reverent. They shall trust in the Lord because of what God has done for him. And indeed, we looking now back some 3,000, 4,000 years, however many years it's been since David was king, can read his words, this song of praise, and we can fear God and we can trust in the Lord because of what he did to David. We see what he did for David. And we too can sing a song of praise unto God. We too can fear the mighty hand of God and trust in the Lord. Blessed, verse 4, is that man who puts his trust in God. Blessed is that man that doesn't respect the proud nor turn aside to lies. Blessed is the man who is just. Got him. Blessed is the man who doesn't take bribes, who doesn't trust in man, who doesn't give ear unto lies. Lean not on your own understanding. What? Hurry up. My tech support just left me for a drink. Blessed is that man whose trust is the Lord, rather than those who boast about themselves, rather than those who lie about themselves. WLAC. We can see not just the effect of that, but also the effect, for example, of what happened when Jesus lived and he put his trust in the Lord. Even though man crucified Jesus according to God's plan also was to raise him from the dead. Jesus put his trust in God and he was blessed for it. Many, O Lord my God, are thy wonderful works, verse 5, which thou hast done, and thy, verse 5, Alicia. I saw you go back in there, Alicia, so I know you're there. Verse 5. Maybe she's not there. Hold on. I might have to. You can't just up and leave in the middle of the stream, girl. Verse 5. Almost looks like Brocco's missing a spur. Oh, there it is. I see it. Okay. Evidently she can, can't she? She does that without having somebody there to take her place. I'm going to have to fire her. Whoa, he made a beeline for the tree line. Bronco is our oldest black Astrolorp rooster. He is the king of the flock. He has spurs on him that are longer than my finger, my middle finger here. Almost, pretty close to almost my, most of my hand, actually. He's probably got spurs about from my tip of my finger to probably about middle of my hand. Hello, Reba. Anyway, many, O Lord, are my God, are thy wonderful works which thou hast done, and thy thoughts which are to us where they cannot be reckoned up in order unto thee. If I would declare and speak them, they are more than can be numbered. Angie says, work conditions and breaks. Hey, Teresa, you've missed a lot. We were discussing work conditions for Alicia. People say dodo birds were extinct, but I think they've never met guineas. Yeah, we're talking about you. Alicia, bring me up on camera. Never mind, I'll get it. Don't know if you can see him. No, not quite. Come here, Alicia. You go show them Guinea. Don't go too far. Oh, he ran off.
Yeah. Abby's home now.
Yeah, she is. I was going to have her show you a guinea, but he ran off. Now you won't be able to see him even if he does come back because she just parked the truck up here. Landlord might frown on a rooster in your place. You know, a lot of cities actually allow, well, a lot of towns anyway, and places allow live chickens on properties. You have to check with your actual local area, local towns, but they allow hens primarily. You may not be able to have a rooster, but you can have hens. Some places will they'll limit you to like say 4 or 5, maybe 10 hens, but you can't have a rooster. And you can buy you can actually buy hens. Go get on tech. Straight from the hatcheries. Or from your, or you can go to like your farm stores and order them through farm, like Fleet Farm, or if you have a Fleet Farm, Orscheln's, Tractor Supply, places like that. They'll have chickens and can order and get you birds. Just if you ever think of ever consider it, you could actually get some hens. That way you could actually have your own farm fresh eggs. Anyhow, back on our topic, if you'll bring back up the Bible, Ezra. Ezra's back with us now, so he's coming back on tech. Other layout, my bud. Angie has a rooster that goes up and around and goes around up and down the street. You have to be careful with roosters. Certain roosters are nuisances, mean, ornery, cantankerous, especially if kids chase them. Anyhow, back on 5. David extols the greatness of God, the care and the wonder that God would even consider. Hello, little bird. Oh, that's a sparrow, I think. Anyway, he extols the wonder that God would even think of us. Great are thy thoughts toward which are to usward. They can't be, and there's so many that they can't even be reckoned. They're more than can be numbered. Sacrifice and offering thou wouldest not have, verse 6. Now you didn't desire sacrifice and offerings. Burnt offerings and offerings you didn't require. You opened my ears to this fact that you didn't want those. You wanted what? This next verse. Lo, then said I, lo, I come, in the volume of the book it is written of me, is expounded also in, I believe it's in Hebrews, and is applied to Jesus. So we know that this is a prophecy of Jesus. Let's see if I can bring up exactly where this is. Hebrews 10 and verse 7 begins it. He says, actually, verse 5 is repeating Psalm 40, verse 7. So if you want to cross-reference, look in Hebrews 10 for this. Wherefore, when he cometh into the world, he saith, sacrifice and offering thou wouldest not, but a body thou hast prepared me. In burnt offerings and sacrifices for sin thou hast no pleasure. Then said I, lo, I come. In the volume of the book it is written of me, to do thy will, O God. Above, when he said sacrifice and offering and burnt offerings and offering for sin thou wouldest not, neither hadst pleasure therein, which are offered by the law, then said he, lo, I come to do thy will, O God. He taketh away the first, that he may establish the second, by the which we are sanctified through the offering of the body of Jesus Christ once for all. So in other words, the Hebrew writer says that Jesus Christ was what was offered, what took away the first and established the second, the obedience of Jesus Christ. Back to Psalm 40 and verse 7. I delight to do thy will, O my God, yea, thy law is within my heart, verse 8. What do I have for a cross-reference on that, Ezra? If you go over to the editors. 1 John 5, verse 3.
2.
Herein that we know that we love God and that we keep his commandments, huh? 2.
Yeah, 5 verse 2.
So these two passages are written in reference to Jesus. I delight to do thy will, O God, my God. Yea, thy law is within my heart. I have preached righteousness in the great congregation. Lo, I have not hidden, I have not refrained my lips, O Lord, thou knowest. David was not ashamed to preach of God's righteousness. He didn't stop. Jesus was not afraid to preach of God's righteousness. He didn't stop. We should not be afraid to preach of God's righteousness. David says, I have not hid thy righteousness within my heart. In other words, I haven't tried to keep it to myself. This is not the idea that was later proclaimed that we should hide God's law in our heart. To the idea that we should actually have it written on our heart. No. This is the idea that I have not kept it to myself. This is the idea that Jeremiah was promoting when he said, when I tried to refrain my lips from speaking of your word, then was it like a roaring, a fire burning in my bones? Was it a roaring in my, and I could not contain myself. David says, I have not hid thy righteousness within my heart. I haven't simply kept it to myself. I've declared thy faithfulness and thy salvation. I've not concealed thy loving kindness and thy truth from the great congregation. I've spread it abroad. We are not called to keep salvation to ourselves. Matthew chapter 28, verses 18 and 19, or 18 through 20. Mark 16, verses 15 through 18. We are not called to keep the gospel to ourselves. We are not called to keep God's righteousness and salvation and mercy to ourselves. Withhold not thou thy tender mercies from me, O Lord. Let thy loving kindness and thy truth continually preserve me. Blessed, again, we go back to the idea of verse 3. Blessed is the man whose Lord, or who puts his trust, blessed is the man who, how does it put that? Yeah, whose Lord is his trust. God will preserve those who do his will. God has preserved those who preach his word. God has preserved those who go forth and follow after his law. Even though innumerable evils may compass you about, more than the hairs on your head, like they did David, even though your heart may fail within you, when you look at all the people that are trying to bring you down and tear you down, remember, like David, that God will preserve you. All right, Angie. Verse 12. Scroll all the way down, please, Ezra. Thank you. Cry unto the Lord for deliverance, like David did in verse 13. They have surrounded me more than the hair on my head. That's a lot of hair, by the way. That's a lot of enemies. My heart's failing. I can't do it by myself. Please, O Lord, deliver me. Hurry and help me. And verse 14, let them be ashamed and confounded together and that seek after my soul to destroy it. Let them be driven. Verse 14. Backward. Let them be driven backward. Put to shame that wish me evil. Deliver me from evil. That's a good reference, Teresa. Let them be desolate for a reward of their shame that say unto me, aha, aha. In other words, those who are taking pleasure in my downfall, let them be desolate. Let the reward for their, let shame be their reward. Let desolation be their reward for their pleasure in my downfall. Contrasting that shame and desolation, David says, let all those that seek you rejoice and be glad in you. Jesus said, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Matthew chapter 6, verse 30. He said, seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be opened. So ask and it shall be given. As ask and it shall be given. Seek and ye shall find. I get a reference for you right there. Yeah, it's 7:7. Ask and it shall be given you, seek and ye shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh receiveth, he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. That's Matthew 7, verses 7 and 8. Paul said that God is near us. Those that seek can find him, is the implication of his words in Acts chapter 17, verse 27. Back up, verse 16 still. Let all those that seek thee rejoice and be glad in thee, because those that seek you shall find you. The Hebrew writer tells us that feels like something's crawling on my neck. Anyway, the Hebrew writer tells us that those who diligently seek God are going to be rewarded. Because without faith, it is impossible to please him. For those who, without faith, it is impossible to believe him. For those who come to him must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So faith means believing that God exists and believing that God rewards those who seek him diligently. Therefore, you must be a person who has faith is one who is diligently seeking God. That's Hebrews 11:7. Or 6, rather. Hebrews 11:6. David says, let all those who seek you rejoice and be glad in you. Let such as love thy salvation Say continually, the Lord be magnified. God be magnified because he is, and he saves, and he rewards those who seek him. However, it says, I am poor and needy. I have to rely upon God, upon you, O Lord. And you think of me, a poor and needy person. You were right, 11:6. The Lord thinks upon me who am poor and needy. He helps me. I am poor and needy, and you help me. You deliver me. Make no tarrying. Hurry, Lord, and deliver me. Hurry and help me. And like we saw earlier in the chapter, in the psalm, it says that verse 5, many, O Lord my God, are thy wonderful works which thou hast done, and thy thoughts which are to usward, they cannot be reckoned in order unto thee. If I would declare and speak of them, they are more than can be numbered. But I am poor and needy, yet the Lord thinketh upon me. David was a man of humility, even though he was a king. He understood his place in the universe. Yes, he was a king, but he was a servant. In Philippians chapter 2, verses 5 through 11, we are encouraged to have the mind of Christ in us, who, even though he was equal with God, he was God, he surrendered that self, that aspect. He set aside his divinity and his power, his equality with God, and took upon himself the form of a servant. Being made in the fashion as of a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death on the cross. That's verses 6 and 7 of Philippians 2. We see then in Philippians 2 that the man, his function is a servant, and David understood that implicitly. I am poor and needy, yet you think upon me. I am lowly. At one point, he even calls himself a worm. That's how low he thought of himself. Blessed is the man whose Lord is his trust, that maketh the Lord his trust, rather, verse 4, and respecteth not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies. What nuggets we can find in this psalm for our jar? First, we need to wait patiently on the Lord. He will incline his ear and hear our cry. He will deliver us. He will put us on a rocket and solid rocket. He will put us on a solid foundation. He will give us a song of praise to sing unto him. Next, God's thoughts and deeds are so numerous that we can't number them. He does in the third God doesn't want sacrifice and offering or burnt offerings and sin offerings. He wants our humble obedience to him. And that is what love is. 1 John chapter 5, verses 2 and 3. That's what Jesus gave him, Philippians 2, verses 5 through 11. Humble obedience. That's what he wants from us. Fourth nugget. We should delight to do the will of God, and that is to preach righteousness, the righteousness of God. Don't hide it in our hearts. Preach it loud and clear. Declare it far and wide. And that is verses 8 through 10. Psalm 40, 8 through 10. Fifth, seek God's deliverance rather than man's deliverance. God will take confidence in God's deliverance, rather. Verses 12 through 15. Rejoice in God is number 6, coming in at 16 and 17. Well, 16 really. Rejoice in God and his salvation. And the last nugget is, remember, we never did it on our own. We are poor and needy. It was not our own strength that delivered us. It was God. It is God. The old prospector here saying, what nuggets to put in our jar, so that when we stand before the judge and he assays the golden nuggets in our jar, you will hear, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your Lord. Remember, there be gold in them pages. I'll see you on the next adventure. God bless.